For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
If he would have taken a test or an audition or a screen test, I would have nowhere been able to do something like this. Because I would have gone with an impression of, okay, what's the problem with the patient? Okay, we need to operate. Okay, just get his blood group, let's operate. I got a lot of feedback that your language has been very foul in Dr. Kaushik Oberoi. You in real life, we have never seen you like that. So I realized that, oh yeah, I also didn't know how it has turned out to be like this, because maybe I was too much into it, or I didn't realize it, or was it written in the script? So I have no memory of that right now.
Hi Mohit, welcome to Film Companion, and thank you for Mumbai Diaries and your terrific performance in the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Sneha. Thank you so much.
You know, it was a two-day binge for me of Mumbai Diaries, and at some point I forgot that I was watching the show in order to prep for this interview. So really, thank you for such a terrific performance and a show all in all. Listen, when I texted you, I reached out to you asking if we could do this interview. You replied to me much later saying, "I'm really sorry for the delayed response, but I'm not used to so many messages since the pandemic." I can imagine that there's a lot happening for you right now. How are you coping? Does it get too much?
It would not have been that difficult or too much because there was a long gap in pandemic. So because there was no release and there was nothing. There was so much of silence. So suddenly, I think 8th night it came around 8ish or something. So since midnight, my phone just literally crashed, and I've not been able to handle it. The messages and the calls and the DMs, the mails, the Twitter. So it's so much that it gets difficult to suddenly message everyone. So you're like, I'm not used to it for a long time now. So can I go a little slow, please?
But Mohit, I heard that you were a straight choice for the show. You didn't have to audition for the role. The makers had seen Uri and they felt like they had found their man. Were you as sure of yourself as they were in you, or did you have moments of, oh shit, how am I going to pull this off? Because it's a very layered character. He's heroic in a sense, but he's also very flawed in a sense. He's very real.
So actually, when Nikhil Advani approached me, he said, I want to meet you. At that time, I had heard he was making Empire at the same time. So I had heard that he's making a historical, a magnum opus show. And I didn't want to, do historic. I was like, oh God, again, sword and, all because I've been in television, I've done quite a bit. So I was like, but out of respect, I'll have to go and at least meet him. I can't straight away say, I'm not. So I had made my mind, I'll just go and, just sit for some time, talk to him, and then politely, maybe later on, after a couple of days, I'll say, sir, I'm not looking into it. So when I went there and he said, I'm making a medical drama, so for 5 seconds, I was like, oh, I had this preconceived thing that he's making a story. There's something else to it. So I was like, oh, medical drama. He said, yeah, I'm making a medical drama and I need a doctor. So what do you think of it? I said, sir, I'm on for it. You tell me, how do you want to go about it and what do you want to do? In Mumbai Diaries, we had preparation. I did, I think, for a month or so, For 15 days, we used to do, I did theory, where we used to sit and write each and every word. Then the procedures we used to do, how to hold the scalpel, how to wear the gloves, So all those. So when there's so much involvement at the pre-production stage, and your director wants you to come a day prior and rehearsal the scene and then shoot the next day. Like my introduction scene, we did the rehearsal a day prior, and the next day we shot it. So I'm not work like that, So that really gives me a lot of, I would say, time to prepare. Yeah. And it makes me realize that what is the outcome that a maker is looking from me.
What did it teach you about yourself as an artist when you weren't racing against time? This sounds amazing. You did 15 days of just learning how to be a doctor.
Yeah, when you have like 2-time National Award winner Konkona Singh Sharma sitting next to you and writing and making notes, so you better keep quiet. Like first day, I remember I went there, I said, okay, rehearsals and everything, we'll go and do chit chat. And I saw her making notes. So I quietly sat in one corner and I also started learning, because it wasn't like that we were just for formality sakes we were writing it. It was literally that Dr. Sheikh who guided us, who took these workshops. He was like, after 10 days, I'm going to ask you questions, and you better be able to answer it. And it was not like a prepared thing. He could ask us anything. So we literally had to like remember all those things.
हम डॉक्टर्स हैं, हम ह्यूमन बॉडी को देखते हैं, ह्यूमन कैरेक्टर को देखना हमारा काम नहीं है.
Initially, yes, a day or two, 3 days, 4 days, I took a bit of time to understand what is happening, because I couldn't really understand what was happening on the set. I remember going on the set and speaking to the chief AD, Abhay. I said, Abhay, yaar, yahan pe shor bahut hai. He said, sir, yahi hai jo hai. So after a couple of days, I realized that was the chaos that was being, I would say, it was being, we were all pushed in a corner, into the chaos, so that our reactions would be very spontaneous. He never gave us time to, be prepared or, decide what you have to do. He was like, Mohit, you go there, you start walking there, you have a cup of tea, and I will reach over there, and I want you to take the samosa and reach at that point of time, but your samosa should be half finished. I was like, okay, what did he say? He said, you have to start from there, chai leke, and he will go there, and you need to reach. Acha, with the samosa, I have to go there, and samosa should be half finished. Okay. So, that those were the challenges with him. So, but I knew that what he wanted. So I completely surrendered to him, and what was he expecting from me, I tried my best to give him. And obviously the outcome, and I see, I really feel he's lucky to pull this off, because if he would have taken a test or an audition or a screen test, I would have nowhere been able to do something like this. Because I would have gone with an impression of, okay, what's the problem with the patient? Okay, we need to operate. Okay, just get his blood group, let's operate. I would have done that, and he would have said, no, he's not my Kaushik Oberoi, let's get someone else. So I'm really thankful that he didn't do that.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine, because you've really changed the benchmark of how we perhaps view doctors, even in dramas now. It was a gripping performance as Dr. Kaushik Oberoi, and complete credit where it's due. But I have to say, for the lack of a more refined word, you were also bloody hot. So was that like essential to the character to tap the mech steamy, mech dreamy space? Like you knew you were playing the hot doctor, right? Also.
Trust me, I didn't, because when we were doing the look test and everything, he said, I want to present you in a very different way. So I said, okay. So he said, okay, I want you to grow a lot of beard. So then let's try glasses. Then he said, you are a workaholic, you haven't slept, so we need to add a little bit of more dark circles, get them into this thing. So we enhanced the dark circles. I said, okay. Then he was like, I don't want your hair to be seen, so let's try the bandana. So I said, okay. We tried that also. So nowhere I had thought, I am a good looking doctor, to be honest. But yeah, when I saw it, it looks a little different, and the kind of response that I got is quite positive.
Yeah. What have the responses from the ladies been, the ones who have followed your 10-year-long career calling you Mahadev? Has that seen a switch now?
Yeah. It's like so the best part has been that it's been like, this is your best performance till date. That most of the people have used this statement. So I think that it's quite, sweet of them to write. But it's like, you're a hot doctor, you're good looking, you pulled it off really well, so it was the feedback has been quite positive.
That's definitely putting it lightly. But Mohit, you kind of stepped away from TV at the time when you were at the top of your game over there. And it took a couple of years for you to kind of find your groove in Bollywood and perhaps the kind of work that you want to do. What was that interim like? Like, how many Lord Shiva roles did you have to turn down, and how hard was that?
Actually, people, this is basically not true. So what exactly happened, because I was doing a mythological show, and then post that I did one more historical, and post that I did one periodic show based on Saragadi. So somewhere I didn't realize it, that I had gotten used to larger than life characters. So it took me some time to kind of detach myself and make myself understand that, you need to be a nobody to do something. I remember after the series finished, there was a love story that was offered to me, and it was of a tailor falling in love with someone. So I remember my response at that was, I said, do I look like Taylor and me? Are you sure? I don't think I'll be able to. A tailor falling in love with a customer, I don't think it's for me. But obviously, when I look back, I see how foolish of me to say that. But so slowly, gradually, I understood that how, because larger than life characters they come with a lot of power and a lot of there's a lot more to play. So slowly, I detached myself. So after Saragadi, I got an opportunity to do Uri because the maker was quite keen on that. Then post that, I got a chance to do Kafir. So slowly, I understood. Okay, now I have to be a nobody. Kafir was a point where I realized I need to kind of start playing these roles.
What are the challenges of breaking into Bollywood when you already have a reputation on TV? What's your relationship with PRs and social media and managers? Do you enjoy this stuff? Do you get it entirely?
Oh yeah. There were a lot of challenges initially. There were a lot of scripts that came to me. Like I would not like to name it, but there was a project, it was a very A+ project. There was a leading lady involved in that, and there was this negative guy in the film. But I remember the makers. I had gone to meet the makers and everything. So I was in a coffee shop. I was meeting them, and everything everything was finalized. So that was the first time I was meeting them outside. So there was the elderly couple who was sitting and having coffee over there in the next table. And they came up to me and they touched my feet and they hugged me and they were crying. They were very emotional. So these makers saw this, and they realized that we can't do this to guy. He won't be accepted in this way. Because they understood that this is the kind of following he has and people love him so much that they said, Mohit, let's forget it. We don't think you will be able to do it. I said, no, see, I will be able to. Yeah. So I said I will be able to do it, but the thing. So it has its own challenges. It has its own problems. So you kind of, in a way, you have to be careful with because your audience is very different. Like I got a lot of feedback that your language has been very foul in Dr. Kaushik Oberoi. You in real life, we have never seen you like that. So I realized that, oh yeah, I also didn't know how it has turned out to be like this because maybe I was too much into it or I didn't realize it or was it written in the script. So I have no memory of that right now. But that was something that made me realize that, the kind of following or the kind of people who like my work or who see me like that, they don't want me to go into that space. They want me to do something very different than that. So you have to kind of find a balance maybe somewhere where you satisfy their love also and you satisfy your hunger and your needs as an actor also. So there are a lot of challenges like that.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, how do you get people to accept you in more mortal avatars? Because it's a very different kind of following. You're being compared to God, no less. It's a tough one to navigate. But
yes.
And listen, right when we were kind of recovering from Mumbai Diaries, because it really is a gut-wrenching watch, you have dropped Shiddat's trailer as well. So you really do have a lot happening for you. What can you tell us about Shiddat? It releases at the start of October, I know, but how do we see you there?
Yes. So, it's I think both Mumbai Diaries and Shiddat, we shot before pandemic. So both the projects were lined up to come last year, but unfortunately they didn't. I think now they were destined to come, next to each other. So it's quite, I'm quite excited. So Shiddat is basically, it's again something that I had never done before. It's like complete full-on romance, which I wanted to do. Basically, it's a I think what I can tell you right now, it's a story about a guy who can go to any extent to get his love back in his life, and that's Sunny for you. And I play his, I can call his mentor, or I can say I play his guardian or something. It's a very different thing. I don't know how to express it in words, But I also saw the trailer, and I understood from it that what so it's like a pure love story. So I also don't know how it has shaped up and how it's going to be. But I play his I would say mentor, kind of a guardian thing. It's a very different story. It's very interesting, and and I think Kunal, our director, has done a fabulous job. And the music is amazing, and these two are looking fantastic. And yeah, I'm hoping for it to come out on 1st of October, and people will love it and see me in a very different way.
Yeah,
Thankfully, there's no foul language over there, so I'll be safe.
I have a feeling that your audience loves you enough to be able to expand their love with every avatar that you choose to give them. Thank you so much for chatting with me. This was great fun. And for those of you guys who haven't watched Mumbai Diaries, it's streaming on Amazon Prime Video. You should totally check it out for Dr. Oberoi and everyone else. It was really a wonderful cast that you had put, that you guys had.
Yes. We were really lucky. Kavi Sinha, our casting director, I think he's done a fabulous job. There are certain projects which just organically everything goes right for them. I think Mumbai Diaries is one of those projects where everything is gone right. And I personally feel it's the intent that matters. When your intent is right, everybody's intent was, because everybody had seen this event 26/11. Everybody had a different emotional connect with the story. So I think the intent was very, very clear, and everybody was at par. So that's the result in front of you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mohit, and all the best.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see
Thank
Shiddat.
you, Sneha. Thank you, Sneha. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Hi, this is Mohit Raina, and if you like this video, please subscribe to Film Companion.